In the heart of a seemingly ordinary Georgia town, a picture-perfect family hid a horrifying secret. Two young boys, entrusted to the care of adoptive parents, instead became victims in a real-life house of horrors. William and Zachary Zulock, a seemingly ordinary couple, went to extraordinary lengths to build their family. They adopted two young boys, fulfilling a dream of fatherhood. But their desire for a family masked a deeply disturbing reality. Behind the closed doors of their comfortable home, a nightmare unfolded. A nightmare of abuse, betrayal, and unimaginable cruelty inflicted upon two innocent children. This is the story of William and Zachary Zulock, the adoptive fathers who became monsters. It's a story of justice served, but also of lives forever scarred. And it's a story that demands we ask difficult questions about the systems meant to protect our most vulnerable. Oxford, Georgia, a small town where life moves at a slower pace. Neighbors know each other, children play in the streets, and families gather on front porches. It was in this idyllic setting that William and Zachary Zulock chose to build their life together. William, a former government contractor, and Zachary, a banker, were known as a friendly, successful couple. They were active in their church, involved in local charities, and eager to start a family of their own. Unable to have biological children, William and Zachary turned to adoption. They expressed a desire to provide a loving home to children in need, specifically those with special needs, who often face greater challenges finding forever families. Their wish was granted. Two young brothers, then aged 4 and 6, were placed in their care. The Zulocks shared photos of their growing family on social media, showcasing happy smiles and seemingly joyful moments. To the outside world, they were the picture of a loving family. But behind the carefully curated image, a darkness was festering. A darkness that would shatter the lives of those two innocent boys and send shockwaves through the community. The news broke like a thunderclap. William and Zachary Zulock, the seemingly devoted adoptive fathers, were arrested on charges of child sexual abuse and exploitation. The details that emerged were horrifying, painting a picture of depravity that shocked even seasoned investigators. The investigation uncovered a trove of evidence, including videos and photos of the abuse, meticulously documented by the Zulocks themselves. They had even installed cameras in the children's bedrooms, capturing their heinous acts in chilling detail. But the depravity didn't stop there. The Zulocks shared these images and videos with others online, bragging about their crimes and engaging in discussions with other predators. The investigation revealed a network of individuals who shared the Zulocks' twisted desires, a community of predators who enabled and encouraged each other's horrific acts. The boys, now aged 10 and 12, were rescued from this house of horrors and placed in protective custody. They had endured years of unimaginable abuse, their innocence stolen by the very people entrusted with their care. This video will delve into the depths of this disturbing case, exploring the motivations of the abusers, the failures of the system, and the long-term impact on the victims. We will examine the evidence, hear from experts, and seek to understand how such a horrific betrayal could occur. Join us as we uncover the truth behind stolen innocence, the House of Horrors betrayal. To understand the depths of this tragedy, we must first understand the individuals at its center. William Dale Zulock, born in 1989, had a background in the military, serving as a contractor for the Department of Defense. He projected an image of strength and discipline, a man dedicated to serving his country. Zachary Jacoby Zulock, born in 1987, pursued a career in finance, working as a senior financial analyst at a prominent bank. He was seen as intelligent and ambitious, a rising star in the corporate world. The two met in 2013, their paths crossing in the bustling city of Atlanta. They quickly fell in love, their shared ambitions and dreams of a future together cementing their bond. They were married in a lavish ceremony in 2018, surrounded by friends and family who celebrated their union. Outwardly, they were the epitome of success. They purchased a beautiful home in the suburbs, their social media filled with pictures of vacations, dinners with friends, and seemingly carefree moments. They were active in their community, volunteering at local charities and attending church regularly. But beneath the surface of this seemingly perfect life, a darkness was taking root. A darkness that would eventually consume them and destroy the lives of two innocent children. William and Zachary's desire for a family led them to explore adoption. They expressed a particular interest in adopting children with special needs, a noble intention that tragically masked their ulterior motives. They connected with a Christian adoption agency in Georgia that specialized in placing children with special needs. The agency had a rigorous screening process, including background checks, home visits, and interviews with potential adoptive parents. However, it appears that somewhere in this process, red flags were missed. Whether due to negligence, deception on the part of the Zulocks, or systemic failures within the agency, crucial warning signs may have been overlooked. According to court documents, William Zulock had a prior arrest. While the charges were ultimately dropped, this incident should have raised concerns about his suitability as an adoptive parent. Despite these potential warning signs, the adoption was finalized in 2020. Two young brothers, then aged 4 and 6, became the legal sons of William and Zachary Zulock. The boys, who had already experienced the trauma of separation from their birth family, were now entering a home where unimaginable horrors awaited them. William and Zachary Zulock were masters of deception. They carefully crafted a public persona of loving, devoted parents, sharing curated glimpses into their seemingly idyllic family life. They were active members of their church community, often volunteering for events and participating in family-oriented activities. They were known for their generosity, their willingness to help others, and their dedication to their sons. They were praised for their parenting skills, their dedication to providing a stable and loving home for their adopted sons. No one suspected the darkness that lurked beneath the surface, the horrific abuse that was taking place behind closed doors. While the Zulocks presented a picture of perfect parenthood to the world, the reality for their sons was a living nightmare. The boys were trapped in a house of horrors, their cries for help silenced by fear and manipulation. The idyllic facade the Zulocks had so carefully constructed began to crumble in the fall of 2022. A seemingly unrelated incident, a domestic dispute between the couple, would ultimately lead to the unraveling of their horrifying secret. On October 27, 2022, police were called to the Zulock residence in response to a report of a domestic disturbance. While investigating the incident, officers noticed something deeply troubling: one of the young boys, visibly upset and withdrawn. The boy's demeanor, coupled with inconsistencies in the Zulocks' accounts of the incident, raised red flags for the responding officers. Their suspicions were further heightened when they discovered surveillance cameras installed throughout the house, including in the children's bedrooms. The officers immediately contacted the Walton County Sheriff's Office, who launched a full-scale investigation. What they uncovered was a horrifying trove of evidence hidden within the Zulocks' electronic devices. Investigators discovered hundreds of videos and images depicting the sexual abuse and exploitation of the two boys. The footage was graphic and disturbing, documenting years of systematic abuse at the hands of their adoptive fathers. The evidence revealed a pattern of horrific abuse, including molestation, exploitation, and the production of child pornography. The Zulocks had not only perpetrated these heinous acts but had also recorded them and shared them with others online. The extent of the abuse uncovered by investigators was staggering. The videos and images revealed a pattern of escalating depravity, with the Zulocks becoming increasingly bold and brazen in their crimes. The abuse took place in various locations throughout the house, including the children's bedrooms, the playroom, and even the family bathroom. The Zulocks had violated every space that should have been a sanctuary for these vulnerable children. The abuse was not confined to the home. Investigators discovered evidence that the Zulocks had taken the boys on trips, both within the state and across state lines, with the intention of abusing them in hotel rooms and other locations. The Zulocks documented their crimes meticulously, creating a vast collection of images and videos. They shared this material online with other predators, boasting about their actions and engaging in discussions about their twisted desires. This online activity revealed a disturbing network of individuals who shared the Zulocks' depraved interests, a community that enabled and encouraged their horrific abuse. While the physical evidence painted a horrifying picture of the abuse, the true extent of the trauma inflicted on these young boys can only be imagined. They had endured years of sexual, physical, and emotional abuse at the hands of the very people who were supposed to love and protect them. Court documents and testimony revealed that the boys were subjected to various forms of sexual abuse, including molestation and exploitation. They were forced to participate in acts that no child should ever have to endure. The boys were manipulated and controlled by their abusers, threatened with punishment if they ever revealed the secret of what was happening in their home. They lived in a constant state of fear, their childhood stolen from them. In their victim impact statements, the boys bravely described the profound impact the abuse has had on their lives. They spoke of nightmares, flashbacks, and difficulty trusting others. They expressed a deep sense of betrayal and a longing for the childhood that was stolen from them. I know this was a heavy one, but these stories need to be told. If you're feeling it, give this video a thumbs up and share it to spread awareness. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join our true crime community. For those of you who've been here a while, you know I appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. With the initial discovery of the abuse, the Walton County Sheriff's Office launched a meticulous investigation to gather evidence and build a strong case against William and Zachary Zulock. This involved a multifaceted approach, drawing on the expertise of detectives, forensic specialists, and cybercrime experts. Detectives conducted extensive interviews with the two boys, using age-appropriate techniques to gather their testimonies. These interviews, conducted by specially trained professionals, were crucial in understanding the extent and nature of the abuse. Forensic analysts meticulously examined the Zulocks' home, collecting physical evidence such as bedding, clothing, and other items that contained DNA or other traces of the crimes. They also analyzed the surveillance footage seized from the house, painstakingly documenting the abuse. Perhaps the most damning evidence came from the Zulocks' own electronic devices. Cybercrime experts extracted terabytes of data from their computers, phones, and external hard drives, uncovering a vast collection of child sexual abuse material. This digital evidence included not only the videos and photos of the abuse but also online chat logs, emails, and social media messages that revealed the Zulocks' communication with other predators. They had shared their horrific exploits with a network of individuals who shared their twisted desires. The evidence painted a clear and disturbing picture of the crimes committed by William and Zachary Zulock. The investigation left no doubt that they had systematically abused their adopted sons, documenting their actions and sharing them with others. In the spring of 2023, William and Zachary Zulock stood trial for their crimes. The trial was a harrowing experience for all involved, as the graphic details of the abuse were laid bare in the courtroom. The prosecution presented a mountain of evidence, including the victims' testimonies, forensic analysis, and the disturbing digital content recovered from the Zulocks' devices. They argued that the couple had deliberately sought to adopt children for the sole purpose of abusing them. The defense attempted to portray the Zulocks as victims themselves, claiming they were struggling with mental health issues and had fallen prey to online predators who manipulated them into committing these acts. However, the overwhelming evidence against the Zulocks proved too strong to refute. The jury heard the heartbreaking testimonies of the two boys, who bravely recounted the horrors they had endured. The trial exposed the dark underbelly of online child exploitation, revealing a network of predators who prey on vulnerable children and share their horrific crimes with each other. After days of agonizing testimony and deliberation, the jury reached a verdict. William and Zachary Zulock were found guilty on all counts, including aggravated child molestation, sexual exploitation of children, and child pornography. The courtroom erupted in a mix of emotions, relief, anger, and sadness. The guilty verdict brought a sense of justice for the victims, but it also served as a stark reminder of the horrors they had endured. During the sentencing phase, the judge delivered a powerful condemnation of the Zulocks' actions, calling their crimes unforgivable and despicable. He emphasized the profound and lasting impact their abuse would have on the victims. The judge sentenced William and Zachary Zulock to a combined 100 years in prison, ensuring that they would spend the rest of their lives behind bars. The sentence was a powerful message that society will not tolerate the abuse of children, regardless of who the perpetrator may be. While the legal proceedings brought a sense of justice, the two young victims now face a lifelong journey of healing and recovery. The trauma of prolonged sexual abuse can have devastating and far-reaching consequences, impacting their physical, emotional, and psychological well-being. Studies show that survivors of child sexual abuse are at increased risk for a range of mental health challenges, including depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and substance abuse. They may struggle with trust issues, intimacy, and forming healthy relationships. The impact of the abuse can also manifest in physical health problems, such as sleep disturbances, eating disorders, and chronic pain. Survivors may also experience difficulties in school, with their academic performance and social interactions often affected. It is crucial that these young survivors receive comprehensive and ongoing support to address their trauma. This includes therapy, counseling, and access to specialized services that can help them process their experiences and develop coping mechanisms. Despite the immense challenges they face, it is important to remember that these boys are survivors. With the right support and care, they can heal, build resilience, and reclaim their lives. The Zulock case sent shockwaves through the community and beyond, sparking outrage and raising serious questions about the adequacy of child protection measures within the adoption system. Many questioned how the Zulocks, with William's prior arrest record, were able to pass the screening process and adopt two vulnerable children. Critics pointed to potential gaps in background checks, home study procedures, and the overall vetting of prospective adoptive parents. This case led to calls for increased scrutiny of adoption agencies, with demands for more thorough background checks, mandatory training for adoptive parents, and ongoing monitoring of adoptive families to ensure the safety and well-being of children. Advocates also emphasized the need for greater awareness of child sexual abuse, particularly within the context of adoption. They stressed the importance of educating children, parents, and professionals about the signs of abuse and how to report it. The Zulock case served as a tragic reminder that even within seemingly loving families, children can be at risk. It highlighted the urgent need for systemic change to prevent such horrific abuse from happening again. Out of respect for their privacy and to protect their ongoing recovery, limited information is available about the current situation of the two boys who survived the Zulock's house of horrors. What is known is that they were removed from the Zulock home and placed in protective custody. They are receiving therapy and support services to help them process their trauma and begin the long journey of healing. It is hoped that with time, love, and professional guidance, these young survivors can overcome the horrific experiences they endured and build a brighter future for themselves. The case of William and Zachary Zulock stands as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary lives. It is a story of betrayal, abuse, and the devastating consequences of unchecked evil. We have explored the background of the perpetrators, their calculated efforts to adopt children, and the meticulous facade they constructed to hide their horrific crimes. We have delved into the harrowing details of the abuse, the meticulous investigation that brought it to light, and the emotional trial that resulted in their conviction. We have heard the voices of the victims, their courageous testimonies revealing the profound and lasting impact of the abuse they endured. And we have examined the systemic failures that allowed this tragedy to occur, prompting calls for reform and greater vigilance in protecting vulnerable children. The Zulock case is a story of profound sadness and loss, but it is also a story of resilience, justice, and the unwavering commitment to protect the innocent. This case forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about the nature of evil and the vulnerability of children. It challenges us to examine our own assumptions about those around us and to be vigilant in recognizing the signs of abuse. My goal is to shed light on important true crime stories and give a voice to the victims. If you believe in this mission, please subscribe and join our community. Every like, share, and comment helps us reach a wider audience and make a greater impact. We must all be part of the solution. We must educate ourselves about the signs of child abuse, create safe spaces for children to speak up, and support those who have been harmed. We must hold abusers accountable and work tirelessly to prevent such tragedies from happening again. If you or someone you know has been affected by child abuse, please reach out for help. There are resources available, and you are not alone. Thank you for watching Stolen Innocence, The House of Horrors Betrayal. Please share this video to raise awareness about child abuse and help protect our most vulnerable.